Okay. Wow. All right, guys. I understand. I have been MIA for a while, probably about a month, and I announced why. So you know now why I haven't been live. But ironically, I've had time to do man on the street videos. That's kind of a whole nother topic. I'll get into it a little bit later. But appreciate everybody that's tuned in today on this Saturday, this now Juneteenth Saturday. I'm going to wait for a few people to join and then I'll get started. It's been a while. Please make sure that you give this stream a thumbs up, share it with somebody. If you're new, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss an upload. I'm going to get back into my routine here once the jitters of being a new father kind of wear off, or I guess I settle into a routine and I can actually, go live consistently. I'll be able to do that. But just know every dollar, every penny, every donation that I get, whether it's through my P.O. Box, Patreon, PayPal, or Super Chat, just know you are greatly appreciated. You're the real MVPs of this channel. So I just want to get that out there. Okay, everybody is in the building now. I see we got a crowd. Again, make sure that you like this. God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so today is Juneteenth. There's a celebration about it. And before I even go like too far into it, I want to tell you guys about my experience with Juneteenth because I celebrated it as a kid. I remember it growing up in Denver. There was a celebration every year, and some years we went, some years we didn't. But I just kind of associated it with, because I was young, like a celebration. It felt like a fun day for me to get out the house. It was summer, so warm, and it's kind of like a festival in Denver. You had music, there was a parade, there were food vendors, rides even. It was fun. And so that was fun for me. But honestly, what sticks out to me most, what I remember most about Juneteenth in Denver was the drama. There were fights, shootings, because rival gangs would show up at these events and it would be unsafe for everybody. So luckily, we would leave like right before all the drama happened. My mom did not want us to be down there when that started to happen. Like she could sense the tension or, things getting more heated. We would leave. But that just made me feel like, as a kid, I'm like, man, why do people have to ruin something that seems like a good thing? Mind you, I'm under 10 years old, so I'm enjoying all of this just festivities, but it ended up being just a drama-filled mess. Now, I'm not saying that that's what every Juneteenth celebration is, but sometimes when you get a lot of Black people together, there's drama. I mean, that's just the reality. You're not allowed to say that, though, because, if you tell the truth, you'll get that Brandon Tatum treatment. But that's another story. I might have to give you all my 2 cents on that Brandon Tatum, Amazing Lucas thing. That's wild. But anyway, I remember Juneteenth as a celebration. And though I knew what it was about, right, the celebrating the end of slavery, that is all since changed. It felt like a secret. It felt like not many people talked about it. The people that did, they would celebrate it and it was cool and it was fine. But now that it's this national celebration, I have questions. I'm skeptical of it now. All you got to do is look at who's promoting it, who's celebrating it now versus back when people were celebrating it before, back in like the 90s, the early 2000s. Now it's just mainstream. Some people just now finding out what Juneteenth is all about. And coincidentally, it's not something that was talked about even when we had our first Black president. So my thing is this, my first question about Juneteenth becoming a national holiday is, why now? The year is 2021, right? Slavery was abolished in the 1800s. So why are we talking about it now? At least in the United States, it was abolished. There's still slaves around the world. So if we're really going to celebrate the ending of slavery, we should probably end slavery first, right? If you want to talk about the liberation of Black people, there are Black people enslaved right now in Libya, different parts of the world. You have slaves, and slavery shouldn't just be, you know, reduced to a race, because not only Black people were slaves. Obviously, there are slaves right now. There are people in concentration camps right now, and our biggest geopolitical threat, China. But see, that's just something that it doesn't suit the needs or the expedience of, you know, politicians, Marxists who kind of hate this country. Well, they really hate this country, not kind of hate it. And, you know, I'm just wondering, why now? Why in 2021 is it a national holiday? You know, it's funny. It never was talked about with Obama. It just seems like this is now just a way for politicians to pander, cash in, and of course, Marxists to co-opt it, because now you have to wonder, is it really going to be a celebration of the ending of slavery in America? Or is it just to remind Black people that our ancestors were slaves in this country? Keep us focused on the past, keep us dwelling on the past, so we don't look forward, so we don't move forward. That's what I feel like it's about. But before I even get too far into the criticism of this, I already know off top, anybody that criticizes it, anybody that has questions about Juneteenth becoming a national holiday, automatically, if you're white, you're getting called a racist. You just don't want to acknowledge our past. And if you're Black, you're a coon, you're a sellout, you're an Uncle Tom, you know, all of those tired names that they've, you know, exhausted over the years. Just rolls off me like water off a duck. You can just say whatever you want, but that's what happens if you criticize it. You're not even allowed to have a conversation. It's no different than anything else. If you criticize what the left is doing right now, you'll get called the names that they come up with. But I just feel like this is an inconsequential move. It's just a flex. That's all it is. Just like Aunt Jemima getting removed from syrup bottles, just like, you know, taking white people out of shows that were playing Black characters on cartoons. You know, I think Family Guy, maybe The Simpsons. It's inconsequential. It does nothing. It does not improve the quality of life in inner cities. It doesn't put fathers back in the home. It doesn't actually make the Black family a cohesive unit, which would legitimately improve Black people. If you have, and all people really, if you have a nuclear traditional family, a stable environment to bring up a child in, like I'm doing for my son, your child's going to be more successful. You're producing a successful, confident person to go into the world, right? But none of that is going to be accomplished by making Juneteenth a national holiday. It's just a flex. It's just a way for people to get, honestly, a paid holiday, paid day off, whatever. So can't be mad about it, you know? And I also want to say this. I don't care if people want to celebrate it. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if you're actually celebrating the ending of slavery. If you're not using it to advance your agenda, which that is exactly what Marxists are doing. And I'll explain it to you in a second. If you want to celebrate Juneteenth, by all means do it. Like I just told you, I celebrated it as a kid, even though I didn't, you know, I wasn't really into the whole, like, this is a celebration for me. It was a fun time to just go out, be with family until it got too dangerous to be there. But, you know, it's not about celebrating the progress that we made as a country, meaning we ended slavery, fought a war to end slavery, because these same Marxists that have co-opted this movement, and I do call them Marxists because look who's celebrating it now. Look who's talking about it now. That makes me suspicious of their intentions, of their agenda, because they deny the progress that's made by America. They deny it all the time. The whole central theme around critical race theory and the 1619 Project is America's very founding is evil, wrong, and racist. I mean, even politicians, mainstream, Maxine Waters said America gets more racist by the day. So in one breath, they are denying the progress that this country has made, but in the other breath, they want to celebrate the ending of slavery. So, off top, this is disingenuous. At best, this is disingenuous. At worst, it's a Marxist takeover. It's just a way to co-opt this and keep it as an annual reminder of Black people being enslaved. That's what it's about. It's just like when they release new movies every year. I feel like there's a movie every year about slavery or the Holocaust every single year. And is it because we want to remember where we were, or is it just a way to keep people where they are, keep them focused on something that tugs at their emotional heartstrings, that makes them angry? It's almost like romanticizing the struggle, the whole "we shall overcome." When are we going to overcome? You know what I mean? It's just like, if you can keep people in a certain situation in life because it benefits you, and I'm talking mainly about politicians, the media, people in Hollywood, you can continue to just build residual success off of it. Think about it. If there were no George Floyd type situations at all, then would Al Sharpton be able to cash in? Would he be able to buy a private jet? What about Benjamin Crump, the guy who just so happens to represent all of these people? So they love when situations like this happen because it's a way for them to be back in the spotlight, pat themselves on the back, satisfy their own ego. And I feel like the people that are pushing this whole Juneteenth national holiday, they act like they did something. Just like when they took Aunt Jemima off the syrup bottle, they took Uncle Ben off of the rice box. It's just a way to satisfy their own needs. And now, just like with BLM, I bet if you look around, of course, you got Black people celebrating Juneteenth because that's Black people are the only ones celebrating it before. Now you got a bunch of Marxists doing it. White Marxists, people that are feeling guilty about their whiteness, the same people that have the BLM signs in their front yards, the same people that virtue signal. It's no different. This is no different. So by all means, people want to celebrate it, fine, but you won't see me celebrating it because it does nothing. It doesn't improve income. It doesn't fix the broken school system. It doesn't do anything. It's inconsequential. And, it's just like, if we're still going to have shootings, if we're still going to have violence, if you're still going to have all of this ghetto trash, like, I feel like every single day there's a new video of somebody Black attacking either an Asian person. You had the guy that was shooting people based on race. I think down in like Alabama, he went on a race-based shooting spree. I mean, if it doesn't heal the country, if it doesn't bring people together, then what's the point? If it's not a symbol of unity, because it's not, they're trying to separate it off. Like, well, let's fly the Pan-African flag on this day. It's just separatism. That's all it is. It's just separatism, tribalism, and it's nothing positive. And it's the people like me, the people that will say, like, I'm sorry, slavery happened, okay, but that was a while ago, and it's probably time to kind of look forward, kind of pivot the conversation towards the future, maybe focus on what's positive about being an American, being, in the freest place on earth, and, maybe acknowledge some of the progress made instead of trying to take us backwards, trying to go backwards. That's the thing. That's what's so crazy about this is, yeah, we're trying to celebrate. Yes, Juneteenth is great. Slaves in Texas got word that slavery was abolished. The Emancipation Proclamation, great, cool. But we're going backwards when you have segregated proms, segregated dorms, segregated graduation, safe spaces for Black people. This focus, it just feels like we're trying to devolve. Well, not me. They're trying to devolve humanity, reduce us back down to tribes. That's it. Just primitive, just Just it's bad. It's bad. Okay. So anyway, slavery is not over because there's still slaves around the world. Mental slavery is a big thing right now too. Remember when Kanye got raked over the coals for saying slavery was a choice? Well, was he wrong when people are walking around just covering their face, just begging for the chains of their own enslavement? And this is what motivates me to do the man on the street videos, because I can go out and probably ask 100 people if they trust government, and I guarantee you 99 of them will say no, I don't. But in the same breath, if I ask them another question like who should control the guns, what should we do about climate change, all of the solutions would involve government and individuals having less rights. So that would be choosing slavery, choosing to not have freedom. That's what I think about it. So, I just feel like people trying to celebrate this as a win don't realize, and it's sad because I know some people that are celebrating it. They're like, yes, finally, it's a national holiday. I'm like, yeah, but what actually changed? What does this actually mean? And why now? Why in 2021? And if you recall, last year, Trump was trying to make this a national holiday. And at the time, I thought like, okay, his intention seemed like he wants to acknowledge that. But Joe Biden doing it, Democrats now doing it, we know what that's about. We know what it's about. It's the same thing. You might as well put in the same category as reparations talk. It's no different than let's talk about the reparations. We're going to form a commission to study the possibility of maybe paying out reparations. Watch the reparations talk pick up next year before midterms. Guaranteed. Sheila Jackson Lee. We're working on it. We're working on it. We need your votes, though. You need to send us back to Congress for another 2 years, another 4 years, 6 years. We need you to vote for us because we're working on those reparations. Don't people see that they're just dangling it like a carrot? This is just pandering. It changes nothing. So, yeah, that's what I think about Juneteenth. It is what it is. It's a national holiday. That's fine. It's a Marxist holiday now. It's just going to be used to further the agenda of why America sucks. It's not about celebrating the end of slavery. It's not. They're not going to use it for that. It's all about let's use this to hate America more, make white people and black people hate each other. That's what it is. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this embarrassment that is the George Floyd statue in New Jersey. Just when you thought that they could not go any lower, they just get a shovel and start digging. Don't they just dig further? And honestly, I'm surprised it took them this long. I thought that there would have been a statue last year. Of course, last year they were bringing down other statues. They took down statues of Frederick Douglass. That's ridiculous. But a statue of George Floyd going up in New Jersey is, first of all, really weird because that's not where any of this happened at. And secondly, why are we celebrating this guy? Like, if they're going to build a 700-pound statue of George Floyd in New Jersey, that means there's going to be a skyscraper built in Minneapolis, right? I can only imagine, since that little George Floyd autonomous zone has been like a pilgrimage. And it's just, the whole thing is so bizarre. It's bizarre. It's like a cult. For as much people say Trump supporters worship Trump and all that, and I do think some of that stuff does go too far. I'll call it out. I don't care. The George Floyd statue worship, it is so embarrassing. Of all the people that you could celebrate, build a statue of, you chose this guy. And they always talk about, we're celebrating his life. You're not celebrating his life. What do you know about his life? What do you know about the life of George Floyd? All you know is that he died. That's it. You're celebrating his death. If you knew anything about his life, you probably wouldn't celebrate it. Matter of fact, what do people actually know about George Floyd? Do you know who he voted for? What if he was a registered Republican? What if he was a conservative? What if, it's not likely that it was, but what if he was? What if he was a conservative? What if he was a Republican? What if he didn't support BLM? I honestly don't know. But the people who have enshrined him and hold him in such high regard as this like deity. Oh, St. George. What do they know about his life? How can you celebrate his life and you didn't even know the man? Do you celebrate your grandfather that much? Do you celebrate like actual heroes, people that made a real difference? Rosa Parks? Do you celebrate Rosa Parks like that? Do you celebrate Martin Luther King like that? They're putting him up there with Martin Luther King. How long before there is a George Floyd holiday? Mark my words, it will happen. That will happen. There will be a George Floyd holiday. It's just, he was on drugs. He was a criminal. Why do we have to take the worst possible person and prop them up and use them as this like saint-like figure and then build a statue and take photos with it? It's just, and who funded this? Was this taxpayer funded in Newark, New Jersey? Not the nicest place in the world, actually a super high crime rate. Don't you think that's money that could be used? Money used for that statue could be used on anything else? I'm just saying, maybe I'm making too much sense. Maybe this is just the inner Uncle Tom in me coming out, just asking these questions that, like, you know, hey, why is this a thing? Why is this a thing? Can those George Floyd statues block stray bullets from hitting kids? Because we all know there's kids being shot in America. Black kids in black neighborhoods are being shot this weekend. It is Saturday. So we already know what's going on in Chicago. We know what's going on in Baltimore and St. Louis and Minneapolis and Detroit and Cleveland and Memphis and Oakland and East LA and all these areas. But let's focus on George Floyd. I'm just saying, maybe we can build some of those statues around houses that have little black children in them. I don't know. Just saying, what can they do? What can they accomplish? Can they heal racism? What are these statues magical? What can we do with them? Or do we just chalk it up to, you know, a Juneteenth, an Aunt Jemima removal from the pancake box and syrup bottles thing? What are we doing with this? What can actually happen? And this cult worship, I can't. I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna continue calling it out. So since they built this statue in New Jersey, and New Jersey is right across from Manhattan, I think Newark's not too far. Does that mean that New York's got to one-up New Jersey? Does that mean move over Statue of Liberty? We're gonna have a statue of Floyd. It's just crazy. Someone said, love your honesty. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. I mean, I'm just calling it like I see it. That's all I'm doing. I'm just telling you what I think is true. And I try to be a little bit funny with it. I'd be a little sarcastic, a little hyperbolic, just so it's not super stale. But that's kind of just what it seems like to me. It just seems like this whole thing is just a bunch of woke phonies trying to pat themselves on the back. Like, look, we helped black people. We built a statue of George Floyd. We're going to make Juneteenth a national holiday, even though nobody talked about it before now. They're just like, let's do it now. Let's acknowledge it now. It just feels really phony to me. It seems fake, and it doesn't move the needle one iota. This changes nothing with race relations. If anything, it makes it worse, which again plays into the Marxist hand. Let's make things worse. Let's drive a wedge. Critical race theory is literally racism. But let's pretend and subvert reality and make it seem like, no, actually, this is a good thing. It's a good thing to make white children hate themselves for the way that they were born. And it's a good thing to tell black children, like, you can't do it because, you know, that white kid that's in your class, he's going to hold you back. He's going to get all these opportunities. You might get shot just for leaving your house. And let's celebrate George Floyd while we're at it. Let's celebrate him. He was a good man. He was a good man. Let's celebrate him. Even though the dude was on drugs and in trouble with the law, did some horrible things, let's enshrine him. Let's build a statue of him. Not Ben Carson. He's an Uncle Tom because he's a conservative. He's a hard worker. He doesn't take the victimhood narrative. He doesn't subscribe to the oppression doctrine. Same with Candace Owens. Those are coons. You don't want to talk to them. We don't, those aren't heroes, people that have done things like Ben Carson. No. You know, Clarence Thomas. No. Herman Cain. Let's mock his death. Let's mock Herman Cain's death. Let's call him a coon. Let's make fun of Tim Scott. Let's get Uncle Tim trending on Twitter. Those are the black people. We need less of them. And we need more George Floyds, because it helps people like Joe Biden get elected, helps Nancy Pelosi stay in power, helps drive a wedge between the races in the country. It destabilizes America. So this is great. That's what we need. That's why they're doing this, because George Floyd was so instrumental to their power. He boosted television ratings. People were selling merch, George Floyd t-shirts. Everybody cashed in on his death. That's why his own girlfriend thanked him for dying, and Nancy Pelosi thanked him for dying, because they got something out of it. Who have you ever thanked for dying? Just saying. So I think the statue is cringe. I think it's an embarrassment. It's shameful. We prop up criminals, the lowest common denominator. Just saying. And honestly, I don't know how much longer this live stream is going to be. I didn't really have a plan to go live for like an hour or 2 or 30 minutes. I'm just kind of rolling with it. But I appreciate everybody that's tuning in, watching me today on Saturday. Again, make sure that you like, subscribe, share. All of your donations will go to help support my family. I do this for a living, honestly. And, things have been slow to start the year, but thankfully Trump rallies are starting next week. So I will be in Cleveland. Well, it's just outside of Cleveland. Trump is holding his first rally in Cleveland. And then the following week, even though that has not been formally announced by him yet, he's holding a rally in Tampa. But next Saturday, catch me with the Right Side Broadcasting crew in Ohio, just outside of Cleveland. I'm grateful for that. Looking forward to it. And your donations, your help will keep me out here doing this for as long as I can. It's a blessing that I'm still able to be monetized on YouTube. That's incredible. Someone said, God bless you and thank you. I've been trying to find out for days. You've been trying to find out about, I guess, Trump rallies. I don't know. Someone said, love your video, Mike. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. You guys are the greatest. And when people send me PayPal donations, I email every single person back. Every Cash App donation, I will acknowledge it with the little thumbs up or the heart or whatever. And I should get, when I go to my P.O. box, I should bring all the cards and everything and read them on air and just acknowledge people, because I want to thank everybody that supports, even people that just click on the videos. That's supporting monetarily, because luckily pretty much all my videos are monetized. So every time you click on one, I mean, YouTube gets a cut out of it, but it's still, I get some of the money. I get the majority of it, actually. Super chat from Cali Days. Thank you. Appreciate you. As well as April. Thank you so much. Keep the faith. Oh, always, always. I'm a strong man of faith. I never lose faith. Even when things seem really grim, that's when your faith needs to be the strongest, honestly. I said that at the beginning of the year, after the January 6th thing, and the morale was really low. I just told everybody, you know what? This isn't the end. God isn't surprised by any of this. You think God is surprised by what's happening? God is going to clean house. I'm going to tell you that much. God will clean house. Who knows when it's going to happen, but it will happen. People that are escaping the justice system here because it's so rigged, it's so corrupt, it's so evil. It protects the world's worst people. You may escape justice, but you will not escape judgment on the other side. You will not. Someone said, keep speaking the truth, Mike. Thank you. What else is going on? Since I guess I'm kind of getting on a roll here a little bit. I don't know if you guys follow a YouTuber by the name of Amazing Lucas. Now, what's funny about this is people have told me for years, you look like Amazing Lucas, or they joke, obviously. They're like, dang, Lucas is wearing his hat forward or whatever. People will joke about it, right? I met Amazing Lucas once in DC, and that was the same time I met Brandon Tatum. This was back in 2018, I want to say. They had the Young Black Leadership Summit, and that was right at the beginning of this new wave of conservatism, younger people. And we all got together, and I got good vibes from pretty much everybody there. There's a handful of people that were kind of sketch, and I had to dodge them. But I just feel like, man, the hate that Brandon Tatum gets is just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. For us, it's coming from the more like, I guess, pro-black, conscious black, the more Afrocentric black people that are influencers, your Angela Stanton Kings and who else? I can't think of their names right now. They're so hell-bent on trying to attack somebody else who's black. But in the same breath, they're worried about, white people. They're always talking about white people. And I feel like, I don't know what happened to Amazing Lucas, but man, there's like rage coming out of his pores. And that's why his channel's going backwards, honestly. It's just so much negativity and hatred for Brandon Tatum. For you to say like he's a simpleton, he's stupid, he's dumb. He lives in your head rent free. And I love that Brandon Tatum actually responded to him, but he did it in a way that was like eloquent. Like, I don't know. I met Tatum a few times, and I got his phone number actually, but maybe he'll have me on a show one day. It's those kind of people that are actually making a difference because they're easy to listen to. When you hear him speak, does he speak with hate? Do you sense like hatred? Honestly, his message really resonates with me and a lot of people that I've sent his content to. Lucas, on the other hand, I feel like he's full of hate. He has this show talking about Disagreement Day or whatever. You call into his show, and I happened to catch some of it last night. Everybody that called in was respectful, but he shut them down, cussed them out, and then hung up on them. I'm like, who is this dude? I don't get it. Some people have taken a complete 180 with their content. Leo Dunson's another one. And you guys know me. I almost never shout out another YouTuber unless I'm, giving them props or trying to send people over to subscribe. But when I see these riffs and I see people getting attacked, sometimes I want to like chime in and just give my 2 cents. I got no beef with Amazing Lucas personally. I've actually interviewed on his channel when he was having guests on last year. I was one of his first guests on. But yeah, he got so much worse over the last year. It's ridiculous. Black Pill Nation, what are you talking about? What hasn't changed? Someone said Officer Tatum is not a clown. Thank you for the hold on. Thank you for that super chat. I can't pronounce that. Ditka's Bears. Okay. I think you're from Chicago. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's wild to see. It's wild to see that there's so much hate for Brandon Tatum, the Candace Owens, Larry Elder, people that have actually made a significant difference. And it's coming from these black influencers that are super pro-black. Some of the ones that I think it was Angela Stanton that went to CPAC and said that we need to put the identity back in politics. I'm just like, how is that any different from the left, man? Oh, I'm staying out of it, Xavier. I'm not getting in. I'm not inserting myself into it. I've been observing this from the sideline for a while, and I had to say something about it because it's a bad look. It's a bad look. And, Candace is a smart lady. Yeah. Amazing Lucas, his channel, he did a 180, man. Dude did a complete 180, and it shows. You can look at his channel now, and he's going backwards. Who knows? He might even see this stream and attack me or something. And it's all personal attacks too. That's the thing. It's personal with him. He hates Brandon Tatum as a person. He hates Candace Owens as a person. Mike, you and Angela Stanton still stay on code. Still stay on code? What does that mean? Maybe I'm not up on my slang. I don't know. People are using this platform to scream BS and shake their cup for dollars and fame. Yeah, he said that's one of the big things he said is he said Brandon Tatum is tap dancing for the white man. Tap dancing for the white man. That's a common theme with people who hate on conservatives that don't see their skin color as central to their identity. It's a piece of who I am. Yeah, that's the way that some people in the world want to define me, but it's not. It's like the least important thing about me, and it's that kind of mentality that they hate. It's like, why aren't you a part of the tribe? Where's your tribal allegiance? You should wear your skin color like a badge of honor. And to me, that's weird. Worshiping your skin color and focusing on it all the time. To me, that's weird. That's what the left does. That's identity politics. It's identitarianism. That's exactly what white supremacists do. That's what black supremacists do. That's what leftist politicians do. That's what Marxists do. Because if you can have people fighting over immutable characteristics and focus on this trivial nonsense, then you'll never actually look at the people that are doing the most evil. It's such an evil distraction. Dave, thank you for the super chat. Dave says, Mike, appreciate you and all your effort to spread conservative ideas and ideals in the face of liberal nonsense. Love conservative blacks. Big risk, conservative blacks. That's kind of weird at the end, that little part, but I appreciate you for your super chat. I don't care what color a person is. I do not care. I care about what is in your God-given brain, what's in your heart. Are you a real person? Are you authentic? Are you evil? Are you a vessel for evil? Are you trying to do the Lord's work? Are you a vessel for evil? And I just feel like if you're just spreading hate and negativity online and all you're doing is trying to tear somebody else down, number one, it makes you look jealous and envious of that person. And number two, it's that kind of hatred and vitriol that tear people down and it blocks your own blessings. And when you do that, when you focus on hating somebody else instead of loving who you are, go love something. That's all I say. That's pretty much what I think. Someone said Lucas crossed the line when he commented on his wife and kid for being white. Yeah, that's just poor taste. What is that? Why are you dragging a kid into it? What are you gaining from that? His subscribers are going backwards because of that. Attacking a man's wife and kids because they're not the skin color that you approve of. A personal attack. Again, it's a personal attack. Why not attack what he's saying? Why not, pick apart his perspective instead of attacking him as a person? See, I never let the ad hominems really, they just don't affect me. Because what you're subcommunicating to me is you're intimidated, you're threatened. You have a problem with the person. You're intimidated by him. And this is why I gravitate more towards, and I have more respect for people like Anthony Bryan Logan, Jericho Green, obviously Brandon Tatum, Kevin's Corner, Patricia Dixon. These are classy. These are the kind of black people, if we're just going to talk about race, those are kind of black conservatives I gravitate towards, because they don't care that they're black. They don't think about that every day. They don't wake up and think about slavery or police brutality or, oh, I'm black in a white man's world. I'm tap dancing for this. That's the weird stuff. And And there you see, those are the ones that have the biggest following, because their message resonates with all people. I don't want to talk too much about this. I thought I saw another super chat come through too. No, maybe not. Never heard of Kevin's Corner? Check him out. Yeah, check that dude out. He's funny. He's good. And of course, check out my man Anthony Brian Logan. Of all the people that I met at the YBLS, 3 years ago, he was one of the most authentic people. And you know how it is where you see somebody online and you think you got a feel for their personality, then you meet them and it's exactly how you expect it. That's how he is. Real down to earth, chill dude, easy to talk to, respectful. But then there's some people, they just freaking took a 180. It's sad because people like Leo Dunson, I was a big fan of his content, and then he just he went off the deep end, got super weird, got super duper militant, started like twisting Bible verses to validate his views at the time. It was weird. He got real weird. So unsubbed. Soho, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. You need to elaborate there. That's it. That's pretty much all I had to say though in this stream. So next week is the Trump rally. I'll be in Ohio. Tomorrow is Father's Day, my first ever Father's Day as a father. So I'm excited. I got to tell you honestly, I'm really gonna wrap on this note, on a high note. Being a father is such a cool thing. I never expected it to feel the way that it feels. I knew it would feel great, but until you actually experience holding your child for the first time, you can only just imagine what it feels like, and it just feels so good. It's like an endless burst of joy every day. And I'm so grateful that God chose me to be a father, especially during these times. I imagine being a father now is going to be 10 times as hard as it was for my dad and his dad. Because from the time your child comes into the world is trying to relentlessly impose its will. I'm going to have to watch every single cartoon. I'm going to have to monitor. Of course, I'm going to homeschool. But I'm going to have to monitor everything, toys, books, cartoons, because there's so much propaganda. There's so much infiltration. There's so much evil. They're trying to teach kids to masturbate in first grade. They're preying on children. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge that I'm up for. I am excited for this challenge. I know that I've got the Lord on my side. I know that I'm equipped for this time. God would not put something on my plate that I couldn't handle. He never gives you more than you can handle. So yeah, I will be homeschooling. I see a lot of people saying that. Homeschool. Yeah, homeschool is the only way. Yeah, even PBS is going to the dark side. Yeah, but it feels good, it feels good. And when he was born, I was thinking like, well, am I going to be nervous or whatever? It just felt so natural. And I called his name Roman. That's his name, Roman. I called his name as he came out, and they put him on my wife's chest or whatever, the skin to skin or whatever. And his eyes were just like all over the place, and he was blinking a lot. And I said his name, and he looked over at me as if he knew that it was his dad. That was the highlight for me. So great. It's such an honor. It's a treat. So I'm excited for Father's Day, just to spend some time with him. And it gives me a whole new reason for people to say, Mike, don't give up. Don't quit. I have a whole new reason to continue going, because I mean, they're trying to abolish Father's Day. They want to get rid of Father's Day. You know, I feel like being a father now and everything that it means to me, it just cements my what is now called bigotry. So I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'm gonna wear that bigotry like a badge of honor. What do I mean by bigotry? I'm pro-life. Only women can get pregnant and give birth. I believe in traditional families, traditional family values, traditional marriage. There's only two genders. You know, all of those things that we knew to be true, they're still true today, but we're being bombarded with this new reality they're trying to create where everything is just blurred. We're going to blur the lines. Kids can choose their own gender. We don't need Father's Day anymore. I'm just, no. Is your P.O. box still the same? Someone said. I mean, it's the same as it was 6 months ago. I've moved a few times since I've had a P.O. box. I've changed the P.O. box, but the one that's in the description that's the one. All you got to do is click on the links in the description. That's where my P.O. box address is. I don't know it by heart. Sorry, but yes. And I try to check it once every other week because it's not super close to my house. But if you're sending something, I'll be on the lookout for it. Did I cover everything? I'm excited to be a father. I'm excited for the Trump rally next week. I'm excited for more man on the street videos. I'm excited to go out and talk to people. I got a cameraman now, so that just everything's good. Everything's on the up and up. I'm scrolling back up because I'm curious what the dude said, that I'm off code. What does that even mean? I take it to mean that he doesn't approve of what I'm talking about on my channel. That's funny. Funny. Anyways, guys, God bless you. Thanks for tuning in today. Let's fight the good fight. You know, in the end, God wins. There's no reason to freak out. There's no reason to panic or stress. It's, you know, it's all good. God is not surprised by this, and he's going to clean house. These demons, their reign of terror is coming to an end. That's why they're lashing out. That's why you're seeing this peak insanity. That's why you're seeing George Floyd statues. You're seeing people worship this man. You're seeing all of the craziness because, you know, the devil's time is coming to an end. And I'm proud to be a father. That's all I got to say. God bless you guys. I'll catch you in the next stream.